Dawn over Johannesburg. A thin, smoky orange light creeps down the roofs over the mountainsides. An eerie silence, but beneath the calm, a silent hunt has begun. Not for antelope and not for wild animals, but for the invasive baboon, which is crippling agriculture, destroying homes and spreading chaos across South Africa. The afternoon falls on the fruit-laden forests. The scent of ripe fruit wafts out like a dangerous invitation. The archers quietly move deeper into the forest canopy, carrying their silent but absolutely accurate weapons. From afar, the leader baboon appears beside the great bushes, his eyes scanning rapidly. The hunter tightens his grip on the carbon bow. Whoosh. The arrow cuts through the air, flying so fast that the naked eye can only see a blur. A precise shot. The baboon falls like a shadow. 2 seconds of silence. Then, chaos erupts. Comment number 1 if you choose to hunt monkeys with a bow and arrow. To deal with a species as intelligent, agile, and reckless as the baboon, African hunters must use a variety of tactics. Noon on the Drakensberg slopes. A group of hunters advanced along the rocky slope, carrying large .308 Winchester rifles with high magnification scopes. On the edge of the forest below, a herd of baboons was swarming through the woods. They snatched tubers, tossed leaves, and chewed up young trees. 1 second. 2 seconds, and the air seemed to thicken. Bang. The sound of a rifle tore through the air. A thin trail of smoke rose. Fast, strong, accurate. The baboons were startled and scattered. But instead of retreating completely, several large males turned, their lips stretched, growling defiantly. The hunters immediately reloaded. A decisive movement. Bang! The second shot rang out even faster. Another baboon fell just a few steps from the bush. The smoke of the gun gradually cleared.
Upside down. My feet aren't behind me.
The whole valley shook with the echo of the gunfire. But why hunt baboons will take you to find out. Baboons don't just steal fruit. They destroy the livelihoods that millions of South Africans depend on every year. The more severe the dry season, the deeper they venture into human settlements. As the threat spirals out of control, the government is forced to issue hunting permits. And to understand the severity, we have to look at the real numbers. South Africa currently has between 150,000 and 250,000 baboons living near humans. Johannesburg and the Western Cape alone have recorded 40,000 to 60,000 daily sightings in the peri-urban areas. But what's even scarier is where they are living and spreading. This dense distribution leads to an unpleasant reality. Baboons are much smarter than we think. They work in groups and there is hierarchy. There are guards and there are robbers, and all activities are extremely organized. Not only that, they learn extremely quickly, memorize routes, know how to avoid traps. Willing to attack people if cornered. The breeding season increases sharply, leading to population explosions. And when such an intelligent species invades the human world, the consequences are inevitable. Each year, baboons cause more than $25 million in damage. In many areas, people have even had to abandon their farms because they can't stand the sudden attacks. That's why hunters are forced to return to the battlefield. If you were a farmer here, what would you do first? And most importantly, we are at a crossroads between conservation and survival. The young ones are not allowed to hunt. Only the dominant male is targeted. The one who causes disturbances and leads the invasions. Conservation begins with the choice in the moment of pulling the trigger. Deep in Texas, between the cornfields that stretch to the horizon, a silent war rages. Wild pigs that they're here. It's no longer a battle between humans and nature, but a war against an invasive species that's growing unchecked. More than 2.6 million wild pigs are roaming the state. They're destroying crops. And more seriously, they're quietly altering the ecosystem in unpredictable ways. So they had to choose to fight the wild boar. As dusk fell, the hunters quietly moved into position. Light steps. Footsteps touched the dry ground, mixed with the cold sound of the barrel and the dim light from the night equipment. And then gunshots rang out in the night. What do you think about rifles being fired from helicopters? Leave a comment and watch the next video. It will surprise you with the power and shots of the hunters. The rotor blades tear through the air, shaking the sleeping field. From above, the wild boar herd breaks formation, charging in panic, kicking up clouds of dust. The helicopter descended, circling in sharp, cold curves. Below the open cockpit, the hunter gripped his rifle tightly. Each pull of the trigger was a moment of tension like a taut string. There was no room for error. No time for hesitation. The shots rang out dryly, echoing across the vast expanse of ground. The wild boars fell along the trails they had trampled during the night. This was not a chase. This was a cold confrontation between man and a species that had spiraled out of control. After months of devastation, the fields are finally revived. Straight furrows gradually cover the wild footprints left behind. Tractors slowly roll along, their plows digging deep into the soft soil, ushering in a new beginning. The sound of the engine is no longer the sound of urgency, but the steady rhythm of labor and hope. The crops return to flourish under the early morning sun, green and resilient. Harvesters advance across the golden fields, collecting every drop of sweat from the farmers. In what was once a battleground between man and nature, only perseverance and reconstruction remain.